Yo, yo, yo. Come on in. Come on in. So, for those who probably don't know, rapper Mr. C's, DJ, former DJ from the 80s, 90s, Mr. C's, who founded rapper Biggie Smalls, did an interview recently about trans attraction. Him and Mano and this other person was, I guess, a podcast or a TV station, whatever. Anyway, radio station. And he said some things that was problematic. Wasn't well informed, of course, when it comes to these things. A lot of guys who call themselves trans attracted or not, especially if they've been in Hollywood, whatever. And it's somewhat their fault, but kind of somewhat not their fault. And then, depending on, I've noticed for me, depending on where a dude is from, how he views himself, all right, sexual. Like I noticed more guys from like New York will say they trisexual, they this, or they like girls but trans women, but transgender, or not. Like they have some roundabout way of saying things that kind of suggest that trans women are not really women and that they're really not straight themselves. But anyway, but that's also because you seem like you have girls who view themselves as not really being girls. It's to the whole ballroom scene and all that. Whatever. Yeah, that's what I was kind of wanting to say. Like, Mr. C's, he gave his definition of a transgender person that is not correct or politically correct, that we can say that is not true and exact. He said that trans women, a man who wanted to be a woman, Mano gave him, the rapper Mano gave him an example, said of a man trying to be a woman. He said, oh yeah, that's a transgender, that's what transgender is, something like that, right? A transsexual is, right? So, ones took offense to that, as they should. But one thing I've noticed, he said he's trisexual too, Mr. C's, right? So you have a guy who's more like a client. He got that still client or clientele mentality, right? But with that, you have men, right? There was a gay man who called into Craig, the guy who be on who worked with T.S. Madison, right? He have his own, I guess, podcast show. And there's a gay guy who called into his show a while back to saying that he likes, he doesn't like trans women. He doesn't like cis women. He just like femininity, but only in men, right? Or gay men, right? So he basically was saying, give a scenario that how if he gets married, he will make that gay man be his wife. Now, I took issue to that or offense to that is saying, because in my mind, gay, I feel like, okay, a gay man could play the role, a wifely role, but to be called like a wife, to be a wife, to me, that was contradiction. So but you had a lot of girls defending him. When I did my video about that, I think last year, you had girls who, I understand what he means. I understand his attraction. I said, I'm not talking about his attraction. I'm talking about the contradiction with it, with the title. It's just like, Mr. C slapped transgender woman on a feminine gay male, right? Trans women got offended by that. But you have a gay man who called in Craig's show and said he wants to slap wife, which wife is synonymous with woman, that it's cool for him to make this gay feminine man his wife. He wants this man to be his wife because they're feminine. So I said, well, if a man can be feminine and be called a wife, what's wrong with Mr. C saying that if a man is feminine and wants to be a woman, that's transgender? So I had, the issue was that ones couldn't see the contradiction. I saw the contradiction with the gay man that called in Craig's show with trying to slap wife on a gay man. And here you have Mr. C's who, don't want to say he's gay. He just say he's trisexual, but he could slap transgender woman on a cross-dresser and say that's transgender. Like I said, to me, both are problematic, but it seems like to some of y'all girls, the gay guy who called the Craig show is not problematic. Y'all seem to understand him. And I put like this, like, I'll say every man cannot call himself a husband. You know, I had with somebody close to me. I'm not going to say their name. But anyway, there was kind of defending, the guy and said, well, they was basically calling me narrow-minded because I was saying, wife can only apply to a woman. Now, the person could play the wifely role, but to say a wife, like a real wife, that apply, because every woman can't be a wife. Every man can't be a husband. Those are titles that you have to live up to. I tell like, you'll have guys who call themselves a husband, but I would never call them a husband because they're a pimp. I said, this dude, if you let your wife go on OnlyFans and sell her body, as long as she's making money, you cool with it, that's a pimp. That's not a husband. He could call himself that, but he's not a husband, in my opinion. And in my fact, that's what he is. So I'll put it like that. Like, you got somebody who's feminine, and, they could be a wife, but they really can't be a wife. Like, the definition of wife, the etymology of wife means woman. But you got to it's a certain type of woman. So my narrow-mindedness still say, well, people would say, well, to be a woman, you got to give birth. That's being a female. Anybody can be a female. But to be a woman, you got to be a certain type of female. You got to be a certain type of person, right? To be a woman. But that sometimes can apply, but doesn't always apply. So to be a woman, you got to be a certain type of, at least be, as they say, human, an earthling. And every male is not a man. Every female is not a woman. So we know that woman is gender construct. But it usually applies to that, but in gender constructs. Okay. So you have to identify as a woman, regardless of how you're born, you have to identify. So that's my argument, is that this gay guy who a Craig show, he's calling somebody who doesn't identify with being a woman his wife. Regardless of this, what they have downstairs, how they was born, they don't identify with being a woman. So here it is. You have trans women who say, well, trans women, being a woman is not easy. See, James, you got to do this, you got to do that, and you got to do that, and we got to shave, we got to do this, and you're doing all that. So maybe, hopefully, one day that you can have a man call you his wife. But here you got this guy who is feminine, who don't have to do all that and still get labeled a wife. And you don't feel some kind of way about that. You would defend that. But Mr. C's is an asshole. Mr. C's is dumb, uneducated, right? He's confused. And see, that's what the title of this live is, that Mr. C's is not really the main problem. Even the sister who made her response getting at Mr. C's, right, on the interview, she called him all kind of names, but she also said, or Sasha also said, who are the trans women who lay with Mr. C's? Because you have girls who defend a Mr. C's quicker than they will defend me, defend a Troy, defend anybody who has the proper understanding. And they would defend a Mr. C's on the other side of it, on the gay side. They will understand that. Somebody who could slap wife on a feminine gay male. And that's cool. Because they'll say, well, that's a role. That's right. Yeah, but it usually that synonymous with being a woman, right? And every, woman can't do that. But at least they got to be a woman first. They don't have to be female. They don't have to be male. They got to at least be a woman. Identify, express themselves, live their life as a woman. And then they could be the type of woman to become a wife. Because every woman is not fit to be a wife. Every woman is not fit to be a concubine. Every woman is not fit to be a whore or a prostitute or a sex worker, whatever you call it. Every man is not meant to be a husband. Every man is not meant to be a pimp. Every man is not meant to be a trick or a John. Everybody has to know where they stand at. You just can't slap that because this person called themselves that and da-da-da-da. Like, no, like, what are the qualifications of being to that title, to that status, that level? Anybody can't call themselves a queen. I mean, you can call yourself a queen or a king, but what, the actual You know, we're not playing around here. If you're just saying they're playing around, okay. But if you actually mean that, like you're an actual king, you're an actual queen, you're an actual lady, you're an actual man. Like I say, anybody could call themselves a man, even a dude who doesn't take care of their children. You know, he calls himself a man. I'm a man all day. He don't take care of his children. He's not paying his rent. Not taking care of his family. So could he call himself a man just because, he plays the role of a man? He acts manly, but he's not doing the things that society, which is a societal construct, says a man must have and do in order to be called a man or to call himself a man. A real man. He's a real man. So like I said, people will, the problem is it's too much. It's like, it's trans attracted men. That's why I've been playing the background. It's one of the reasons why I've been playing the background the past years or so. It's just too much. You say you want this and say you want that, but you'll have, a sister come out of left field say, well, or this is okay. This is all right. And I said, no, I thought this was trans. I thought this is what you wanted. This is what I'm giving the people. But then you'll come out of left field and say, well, this person is trans, or this person is transgender, or this person could call himself a wife, or this is cool. And I'm like, hold on. Men don't have a problem standing up. We have a problem with the back and forthness. We have a problem with the cognitive dissonance, the strong cognitive dissonance that y'all do not recognize and see. And it could be, one of your close girls on your friends list. It could be even your own wife who will defend the foolishness. Like, but you just said that, the narrow-mindedness is no narrow-mindedness. It's the truth. I'm trying to make sense of this. This is why, like I said, sometimes I fit in more with the, outside the LGBT community, because I like to make sense out of things. Men who are masculine, who are men, we think logically. We don't deal with emotions. We build something, we need a strong foundation. If I'm going to build a house, give me a foundation, something I can build off on. Even when you fight from the ground up. There's nobody levitating, fighting like this. You're fighting from the floor, from the ground up. So give me something. So we could have so many rooms. We could be fluid, but give me something I can build off of. It's too many changes. It's too much. You even had a trans woman today on Twitter said she's tired of all these titles, trisexual, pansexual, this, that, and other. Everybody doing everything to call themselves what they are, or gay, or straight. And then, like I said, it's too much from the community, LGBT, and it's too much from the cis hetero, super straight community. It's too much. We're super straight. It's just too much from both sides. That's why I say I can't rock with nobody. That's why I say I don't fit in with nobody. It's too much from both sides. It's like, but at least there's more consistency. Hell, even as men, even if we have more than one woman, we still like to see consistency from a woman. Even though we might not, we know we're probably not really going to get it because women are very chaotic in nature. But we want to see more consistency. But anyway, not to go too off, like I say, the issue is basically the back and forth. It's over here, it's over there. It's 1 minute, this is trans. The other minute, this is trans, or this is a wife, or this could be. It's like, if I'm going to fight for you, I need you to stay over there so I can fight. Don't come over here and be like, no, like you gave me the ammunition. You told me this is what you wanted. Then when I do it, oh no, this is. It's just like I did a video for a trans woman, right? I did a video for her, I think either early this year. And it took me 3 days to do it. And I said, give me everything that you want me to do. Let me know. She gave me exclusive, like, this is what I want you to do. Here the videos. All right. So I do it. 3 days to do it, right? And it took me a little while to do it. Finally do it. She come with the, I want you to use these clips. Hold on. You told me to do I did what you wanted me to do. Then when I finally get done, you come out of left field, want me to redo it, which I'm doing it for free anyway. I'm doing it for free. I did it for free. I could have charged it. I did it for free. Right? So you want me to do it? Oh, I said, and she said, oh, okay, you know what? You could just go ahead and just put up whatever you get. I said, okay, because I'm not doing this. It's like, women would just change their mind when you done went through all the hoops and loops and took 3 days to get something done. Now you want to say, okay, use this. And I said, why didn't you tell me that from the beginning? Like I could have used it. Well, I thought it wasn't the quality, whatever. Just go ahead and yeah, because I'm not gonna. Which I could have. I could have said, you know what? But I had technical issues with my, program and all that. So I said, anyway, I'm doing it for free. So if I was charged, I guess, all right, I'll take it. But whatever. So it just example. It's like it's too much chaotic. Women, chaotic nature. Over here, over there. It needs to be some masculinity, like real masculinity in the community. So you fashion things, you do that, but I'll lay the foundation. I'll build off the foundation, and we can work on this together. Like I said, there has to be something solid. So, saying I'm narrow-minded because I'm trying to, make sense out of something, right? I'm trying to build off of something. I'm trying to have something rooted. So when the apple trees fall, we know where they came from. They came from the apple tree. They just didn't come out of anywhere. Like we can really, have some crops. We can't have crops when there's nothing in the ground. There's no roots there. What are we going to, what are we going to eat? We don't have, because nobody planted anything. There's nothing planted. There's nothing solid. And that's why I said Mr. C's is not the main issue, because the community itself is not based off of nothing solid. Every 5 minutes, there's, well, GNC, it's not this. Well, GNC is trans, or this is, well, you have people who get mad and say, well, I was mad that this GNC person got the grant before I did, and da-da-da-da. But, but then you just said that GNC people are transgender women and people. No, woman, that's what you said. And it's too much of this. So basically what I'm trying to say, hopefully I made a long story short. I could spend hours. I could spend 2 hours, bringing so much raw stuff that I know from the men, the women. Like I said, Mr. C's, I met Mr. C's over the phone. Talk like you have guys who have met Mr. C's, who have dated Mr. C's. Sasha asked, who are the women who are dating these Mr. C's? There's guys who will call themselves trans attracted, who are Mr. C's, but they say that they're trans attracted to get more women because they're looking at quality, they're not looking at quantity. So they'll say that. And as men, we want quantity, we want many women, but we're not looking at the many women who could be quality women in our lives. We're just looking at, booty. But anyway, but I said there's women who have actually dated, who have talked to, have met up with Mr. C's, and they didn't even know. Who dated cross-dressers. They're anything. Okay? I'll talk to these dudes on the phone. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay. And they'll, instead of saying, like Mr. C said, at least I give Mr. C that, he said he's trisexual. Some of these niggas need to call themselves trisexual too. You know what I mean? They need to call themselves trisexual too, because they'll try anything. Okay. Oh, okay. Hey, Monica. Hey. You said, what's up? Oh, you said, yeah, and the ones that speak out about the effery get attacked. Okay. All right. So what do you mean by that? I guess you're saying the women who speak out against it, or the trans attracted men, get attacked. You could let me know what you mean by that. But yeah, and this going up on YouTube. I'm putting this up on YouTube. This live is going up on YouTube because I just feel like it needs to just get out. Because so if you're talking about the men who speak out get attacked, about the effery whatever get attacked, or you talking about the women get attacked. But okay, trans women, yeah, okay, yeah, and the ones who speak out against it get attacked, and that's what I'm saying. That's another thing, issue. All right, Jamie Robert. Hey, those who come on the live, shout out, Jamie Robert. Hey, y'all, come on in. Yeah, it's so much. It's so much, and where are the lines that been drawn at? We need some lines to be drawn, because, like I said, people want this anything goes, but let a person break into your house. You want law. There has to be some type of qualification, some type of, it's like, okay, you got children, but there got to be some rules for the children. You can't let the children do anything they want, because you won't have them too long. You know what I'm saying? Like you won't have them to the route of correction. There has to be some type of discipline. It's like The reason why people like me able to know what I know because of the discipline. I come from a culture that gave me discipline, right? I came from a school that gave me discipline. I came from a art form, the martial arts that gave me discipline, right? And real discipleship, Christ had disciples. Real discipleship requires discipline. There's no discipline. You know, like this could be this and this could be that. And I could say I'm this. It's like, where is the dedication? Where is the, you know, the things that's going to get there? The discipline to say, you know what, if you want to get to this level, these are the things that you're going to do and show and prove to get there. And there's no discipline. There's no structure. There's no, and like I said, without that, you just get as dead. Like I said, it's like having a country without a military. What you going to do? You know what I'm saying? What are you going to protect? You have nothing. You have no one to protect it. All right. So, like I said, what's a lion without a tooth? What's a lie without truth? What's a country without structure, without a strong family structure, without strong family values, without a strong army? What is a nation without that? You don't exist. Exactly. I said they're gone. They've been invaded. They've been taken over because they never had anything strong to begin with. They had nothing but liars, deceivers. They had nothing but spies, espionage. That's what they had because there were no rules. There were no foundation. And anybody who said something about it got attacked. Anybody who said anything, like you said, Monica, the girls get attacked. For the ones who speak up against the F-free, get attacked because you say, no, that ain't trans, you know, or no, this is, you know, trans attracted men are not gay, or et cetera, right? Will get attacked. And that's why I guess you would say why some girls be stealth. They don't want to. And I don't think it's even the point of them not wanting to identify with being transgender. Is that too? I just think it's just like the F-free. It's too much. It's like, you know, that you can say this is trans, you know, this is trans and move on to that. It's hard to be a part of a group of organization. Like it's like a person being a part of an organization group. You've been putting in work, you know, all these years, maybe 5-10 years to get called this or to get a black belt or to be called an OG. All some dudes got to do is pay their way in. And they now taking the title of OG or black belt, whatever, right? And it's like, hold on. So you mean to tell me all that time, all I had to do was just get some money and I could be that? I could be at that level? And that's what it is, man, with the community. It's just like, I mean, what is it? Is it this? Is it that? And so, like I said, man, I could tell Mr. C's all day what that's going to do. You know what I mean? I could talk all kinds about Mr. C's, what that's going to do. Because you're going to have girls who want to still deal with Mr. C's. They're going to still defend Mr. C's. They still going to say, yeah, that's trans. You're going to have women being able to call up at a show and say that, you know, trans attracted men are bisexual and get radio play, you know? And the girls who will say that chick crazy who said that, you know, she probably ain't trans. They get attacked. So who gonna stay part of a community that attacks them for standing up for what they said yesterday was the community? But now they stand firm to that and they get attacked because now today that's not the community. GNC is trans. Bisexual is trans attracted. You know, like trisexual is trans. Like what do you want me to do? It's like a dude asking his wife, what do you want me to do? What? Because when I do it, don't get in my way. What do you want me to do? I have no issue standing up for you, but what do you want? Is that what you want? Because when I do, you're pulling me back saying, no, that ain't, you know, but I thought that's what it was. So anyway, yeah, you know, Mr. C's can, Mr. C's is saying that too because he know once he actually says like trans attracted and he sticks to that, his, you know, quantity of women or girls and, you know, whatever, you know, will go down. So he got to say that. He still had that mentality. Because the moment you say you're trans attracted and you like trans women, but if you say you're DL, or you kind of keep that DL mentality, like, just like he said, just like he said in the interview, he was like, oh yeah, I just got oral sex, I never had sexual intercourse, I just got, he could still play on that, like, I just deal with them, but I'm not attracted to them, or I'm not a chaser, or I'm not a whatever. He could get more, girls that probably not now because he's been exposed, but he could get still more that, deal with him. But because, saying you're trans attracted, or as a brother said, trans attracted brother said, one of the worst things to tell a trans woman is say, I knew all the whole time you were trans. They like, what I'm saying? They start getting depressed. Like, they come over, talk, and say, da-da-da-da. And she might tell them, oh, I just want to tell you something. And you might say, well, I knew the whole time. That's like, you know what I mean? That you even knew that she was trans. Because that's not the thing for her to be. Her thing is to be cis, to fit in, that you thought that she was cis, not to even think that she was even trans. So you have a group of women, like I said, it's hard to stand up for a group of women who don't even want to be trans. We stand up for trans women, but they don't, that's a stab in the chest to tell them that they're trans. To even say that, you know what, I kind of might have figured it out. That's like, oh, you knew I was trans. I can't believe this all happened because this nigga out my face. That's an insult. You know what I mean? So it's like, what do you want me to do? You want to stand up for trans women, but then, calling you trans is an insult, or me kind of figuring it out is, it's like, I'm clocking you. It's like, it's too much. You know what I mean? And then this other person can say they transgender, even though they don't live their life as a woman. They play dress up, they do this, whatever. And you got ones who say that that's transgender woman as well. And like I said, you could be, trans because you got transvestites, you got trans this, but to be a transgender woman, you would think that's, criteria. There's some things, qualifications that you have to kind of aspire to meet, that you have to live a certain way. You have to be and think and live, woman, the essence, not just I put on some makeup. It's too much, man. It is too much. But anyway, I done kind of went overset that too much from both, too much from super straight community. Them not knowing the difference between sex and gender is too much from even seem like in this community. Ones don't want to know, want to stay true to what's the difference between sex and gender. It's like, yeah. So, yeah, that's what I said. Just play the background. But Mr. Caesar is not the main problem when it comes to issues with trans attracted men and trans women. It's not the only main issue. It's the community not having a strong foundation. And I ain't talking about makeup. But anyway, it's James Speed. Shabbat Shalom to y'all out there. All I want to say, I'm out. Y'all take care. All right.